Spectators are expected to be loud, be proud, and be positive. We thank you for your cooperation.
The road to prosperity runs through Victor as the one-seeded Blue Devils face off against the Brighton Bruins. Well, Garrett, we're glad everyone is with us tonight here on the Section 5 Broadcast Network, presented by CR Sports. This is a fun matchup. The Victor Blue Devils are still undefeated. They're the one seed. And a kind of a beautiful night after a chilly day. We got a game to play, the semifinal.
Yeah, coming off a couple of nice wins, both by Brighton and Victor in their quarterfinal matchups. Victor defeating Churchville Chili by a score of 28-14. And then it was a game-winning field goal from Brighton with about 3 minutes to go to defeat Irondequoit to move their record to 6-3 on the season. These teams met about a month ago. It was Victor winning the game with a score of 21-14. Although Brighton dominated that game, taking the time of possession 32 minutes to just 16, controlling the ball for two-thirds of that game. They dominated the play count as well, outplaying Victor 58-30 in terms of plays ran, but Victor was able to get the W as they still have 0 losses in the loss column, and the winner of this one will face either East or Canandaigua for the sectional final next Friday at Fairport.
Let's talk about the stars. Tyler Martinovich for the Bruins. He's a quarterback and safety, a stud at quarterback. He's going to D1 Merrimack College next fall to play safety there. He's been the guy for them this year. For Victor, you have Adam Ruffalo, you have Nick Leonard, and Jake Lachlan in at quarterback. That's the position where there's been turbulence this season, and they're sticking with Lachlan in the semifinal.
Yeah, and a very important position as well for both teams is the tight end, a position that oftentimes does not get a lot of love. These two tight ends on each team are valued as probably the two best tight ends in all of Section 5. It's Nick Leonard for the Blue Devils and Thomas Walker for the Bruins, both key aspects of the team's quarterfinal wins. We'll be looking to highlight them all night.
Yeah, this should be a fun one. We'll bring you into the action now as we get ready. But the Blue Devils, Garrett, 9-0 on the season. Lots of ups and downs, even though they are undefeated. Last week we saw them beat Churchville Chili by a score of 28-14. And we'll see what happens here tonight.
Yeah, it was really a tale of two halves last Friday night against the Churchville Chili Saints, in which Jake Lachlan threw 3 interceptions in the first half, bounced back to throw 3 touchdowns in the second half, and led the Blue Devils to a 14-point victory.
And then for the Bruins, they had a 15-3 win over Irondequoit, a team that we called play Victor with a 1-score win in overtime. Last play of the game, it came down to that 2-point conversion, and it was a close one. Victor and Brighton have met up before this year. Victor winning 21-14. And we'll see what this game has in store for us.
Yeah, the Bruins still undefeated on the road this year, sitting at 4-0. So Victor trying to hand them their first loss.
We're glad you're with us on the Section 5 Broadcast Network presented by CR Sports. Nate Harris for the Blue Devils coughs it up on the first play. It's kind of a squib kick right there. And the Victor offense is going to start off at the 30.
Yeah, pretty average starting field position here for the Blue Devils on the first drive. Look for Adam Ruffalo to be heavily involved in the backfield. Victor still without wide receiver Eric Young, the freshman up. So look for Nick Leonard also to be in motion a lot early on, and look for him to get the ball to Kyle Sager as well.
A lot of Adam Ruffalo, we can guarantee that. The stud wide receiver starts in the backfield on the first play of the game. Leonard in motion, handoff to Resigliano on the right side. He gains a couple. Nice stop by the Bruins.
Yeah, although Resigliano didn't find the end zone last Friday against Churchville-Chili, or he did find it once, he was also very dominant on pretty much every drive for the Blue Devils. The run game was really the reason they were able to build a comfortable lead in the second half and bleed the clock out.
And it's that 1-2 punch between Yomas and Resigliano. Yomas really the strong power back that can do it all. And Resigliano's that featured speed back. Lachlan fakes a handoff to Yomas, fires it to the outside. Pass caught and gaining 7 yards, we'll say, and setting up a third down and short.
Dennis Cole Jr. on the grab there for the Blue Devils. Hasn't been too heavily involved on the offense thus far this season, but some action early on. He does a nice job to pick up 5, get this into a third and manageable.
We'll say 3rd and 4 here on the opening drive for Victor. Leonard in the slot, Ruffalo in motion. Handoff to Yomas up the middle. He's getting nothing. The Bruins were ready. A big-time stop by Sean Blake and this Bruins defensive line as they were ready for Dre Yomas, a guy that's been unbelievable in 3rd and short and 4th and short situations this postseason run and so far this whole season, and a 3-and-out to open up the game for Victor.
Yeah, great penetration there by the Brighton D-line, one of the strengths of their defense, and they force an early 3-and-out. Ruffalo will also punt the ball away for the Blue Devils.
Adam punts it away. It's going to take a bounce to about the 30-yard line where it'll get picked up. And setting up field position at the 35-yard line. Here comes Tyler Martinovich and the Brighton offense.
Yeah, you mentioned Tyler Martinovich will be attending Merrimack University next year, actually playing safety, but he also runs quarterback for this Brighton team. So, you know, he's very elusive back there, very athletic quarterback as well.
So from the 36-yard line, with 10 minutes in, only 2 minutes in, 10 minutes left of this first quarter, it's Martinovich and the Bruins. Handoff on first down, gaining decent yardage as Gavin Parks, the running back tonight for the Bruins.
Yeah, look for a rush-heavy attack. This Brighton O-line, one of the best in Class AA, in Section 5 overall as well. Just really able to get a push, and it's been their running attack for Brighton that's been able to set up Martinovich in the pass game as well.
Look for number 6, Wes Stirrup, to be involved. Big receiver. You see him on the left side in the slot right here. Hand it off to Parks once more, making a few people miss and spinning his way to about midfield for the first down. Gavin Parks with a nice, decent gain. And the Bruins have a first down, something that Victor was not able to do in their opening drive, Garrett.
Yeah, you mentioned Wes Stirrup, that very scary incident in the first meeting at Brighton between these first two teams. Just really glad to see him back out on the football field making plays. See if Brighton tries to go more tempo tonight, or if they want to slow down, try to keep the ball out of Lachlan and Ruffalo's hands.
Welker in motion. Handoff to Parks again. This has been what has worked on this drive, and gaining 5 yards again is Gavin Parks. So that's been the game plan for the Bruins, clearly. Let's try to run the ball. You saw last week Churchville-Chili with Lagares, a really good running back, run the ball a lot effectively, and then Victor kind of made some adjustments and were able to limit the run game and stop it, some would say. But Gavin Parks, Garrett, he's not the biggest guy out there, but he's pretty elusive, pretty quick, and he can make a lot of people miss.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Jamison Resigliano on the other side of the ball for the Blue Devils. Two guys who just like to get downhill, very physical as well.
Martinovich running into himself and easily picking up the first down and giving a hit to Nick Kriegelstein on the sideline. And this Brighton drive has been efficient. It's been easy, and they're running it right down Victor's throat.
Yeah, a couple plays ago we saw Nick Leonard on the shift. You saw Thomas Welker go in motion, and Nick Leonard followed him. Those two tight ends are going to be going at it all night as they're both defensive ends as well. So I think we're going to see Leonard try to follow Welker around tonight. The Blue Devils believe Leonard has the edge.
You see the wide receiver Jack Snyder on the far part of your screen here. Martinovic going to hand it off to Parks once more. This time, gets stopped right in the backfield. There's that running back you mentioned, Garrett, who's similar to him, Jamison Versigliano, playing in linebacker, makes a stop right there.
Yeah, Brighton now faced with a 2nd and 10, it looks like. Just outside the 35. Now, normally this would be nowhere near field goal range, but for the Bruins, we mentioned how they defeated Irondequoit on the game-winning field goal. The kicker, one of the strong suits of this team. So they were able to put 3 points up on the board pretty much anywhere inside the 30-yard line.
Handoff goes to Grady Hopkin as he gets the ball on the jet sweep, but gaining 0 to little yards and setting up a 3rd and long.
Yeah, I think we're going to see Tyler Martinovic have to put the ball in the air for the first time tonight. Looks like it'll be about a 3rd and 9. We'll move it up to the 34. 3rd and 8. Pretty obvious passing situation.
.15 seconds left on the play clock as Brighton gets their call in. 3rd and 8 from Victor's 34-yard line is Martinovic in this Brighton's offense. Play action under pressure, rolls out right. Martinovic, there's a flag down. He gets brought down right at the line of scrimmage. We'll see what the call is on this play. It's the big one.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be possibly a hold on Charlie Messina, number 50 in white.
And now it's decision time, Garrett, for Brighton.
Yeah, a little far out of the range. But I think we're going to see them kick it away here.
Yeah, Will Pecker, he's really been an unbelievable kicker for Brighton this year. And that's something that not a lot of high school teams can say, where it's 3rd and very long or 4th and very long. You're inside opposing team's territory. Most of the time it's go for it in high school football. But not with the Bruins occasionally. So Victor's actually going to accept that penalty, and then it's going to set up a 3rd and 18 from the 44-yard line.
Yeah, interesting decision there by Jeff Mandel. The Bruins look like they were sort of in no man's land, but they'll redo 3rd down.
Riley with pressure. Martinovic rolls out left, trying to avoid it. Nick Leonard chasing down Martinovic. He's going to wrap him down. Nick Leonard with a nice play defensively. Another flag is on the field.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have another hold. That flag came in the area right around the 50-yard line, usually where we see a hold. Expecting Victor to decline this one, as it's about 4th and 20 for the Blue Devils, right around midfield, or for the Bruins, right around midfield.
That was a perfect contain. You know Martinovic likes to use his legs. You've seen that so far in the early showings of this game. And Garrett, it's actually going to be a personal foul. So 15 yards backwards go the Bruins. And as I was saying, just Nick Leonard and the Victor defense able to contain Martinovic. Riley with the initial pressure, Leonard on the outside. That's how you're going to have to stop this offense because he's really an X factor for them.
Yeah, Martinovic really good when he escapes out of the pocket, making plays down the field with both his arm and his legs. A really good job there. Defensive end Nick Leonard just setting the edge, forcing Martinovic to cut back to the middle where most of his defense is.
So 3rd down and forever. Martinovic takes it himself and gets brought down by Leonard once more after a very, very short gain. And now it's 4th and super long.
Yeah, Nick Leonard very active early on in the run game for the Blue Devils. Looks like we got something to sort out here.
Another flag. This has been a penalty Induced drive. Now it gets declined. And finally, Brighton will punt the ball away. Victor felt like 100 stops on that drive. But it's a good adjustment by the Victor defense. Early in that drive, we saw Brighton able to run the ball with Parks and Martinovic down the field, got into Victor territory. They made adjustments. They stopped them. And that started with getting pressure on Martinovic. That's key in this game. And we're going to see how Victor responds after going 3 and out on their opening drive. Pressure on the punt. Gets it away to Adam Ruffalo. Takes a nice Brighton bounce to the 20-yard line is where Ruffalo will take it. Ruffalo to the left side. And he's going to get wrestled down at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, some early promise from the Bruins during that drive. A couple first downs on the ground, and then penalties really just gave that drive no chance. It was 3 in a row. The latter being declined by the Blue Devils, pushing the Bruins back all the way to their own 40. The Blue Devils are back in business with their second drive of the game.
So we'll see what Victor can do on this drive, Garrett. They started the game off a little bit slow, not able to get their playmakers the ball in space, get some people downfield, make some people miss, like we saw last week against the Saints in Churchville-Chili. We'll see what they do here on the second drive. Big number 89, Nick Leonard in motion once more. Lachlan steps up, fires a shot to Ruffalo, and it's incomplete. There is no flag.
Grady Hopkin on the coverage there. Great job of staying with Ruffalo all the way through that route. Looked like Ruffalo might have been a step or two behind him, but Lachlan comes up a little short on the throw. But Victor taking their first real shot of the game. Pretty conservative play calling on the first drive from Jeff Mandel. You see him open it up there. Ruffalo on the deep flag. Lachlan not able to find him, though.
Yeah, Ruffalo's speed, Garrett. You can expect Victor to look a lot for him downfield. You saw it in the first matchup they had. It was a different quarterback in there, but it was a big play with Eric Torres as a 75-yard touchdown. This time, getting wrapped up and thrown down in the backfield is Jamison Resigliano. And this Bruins defensive line has been shown in the early parts of this game.
Yeah, Charlie Messina throws Resigliano backwards. Great job getting in the backfield there, and Victor's O-line has looked a little shaky so far as the defensive ends and D tackles for Brighton have been able to have their way in getting in the backfield and making stops on this very dangerous Blue Devil rushing attack.
3rd and 16 from Victor's own 20-yard line. They're just going to hand it off to Ruffalo, trying to see what he can do. Adam with a ton of speed, getting up a first down and across Victor's own 45-yard line. They're going to mark him down right at the 45 is Adam Ruffalo. There is his speed and burst. And you hope everything's all right as he appears to be injured on this play. So Victor with their first down of the game. And now everyone holds their breath at Corbett Field as the star is down. We hope everything's all right. We're going to take a quick injury timeout on the Section 5 Broadcast Network.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
It's a magical place for kids of all abilities. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp. Where kids have no barriers to fun. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp.
Section 5 fans can now watch sectional championship games and productions live or on demand for just $8 per event on the Section 5 Broadcast Network. The production may include features such as score overlays, graphics, announcers, instant replay, and multiple camera angles. Do you watch a lot of sectional events or consider yourself a super fan? Then consider purchasing a season pass to watch as many events during the sectional season as you'd like. Want to save that production and remember those championship moments forever? Now you can download the entire video for just $20 per event and cherish those moments forever. Are you ready to start watching? Download the Section 5 Broadcast Network app, available on any mobile device or popular TV platforms. Or watch directly from your computer by visiting sectionv.org/watch.
We're back at Corbett Field as it's a very scary scene. Here only 8 minutes into this game. Adam Ruffalo for the Victor Blue Devils is down. We hope everything's all right as soon as we get word of what the injury is. We'll let you all know.
Certainly not what you want to see from the Blue Devils star. He's been down now on the ground for a couple minutes. Looked like somebody might have landed on his back after he was thrown down. Hard to tell from our vantage point. We'll let you know as soon as we get further update.
And truly eerie with this full house on hand tonight. It's been silent this whole injury timeout. And you can only hope and pray for the best with Adam Ruffalo. Michael Rickey alongside Garrett Clare. And Garrett, so far in this game, it's been the Victor offense that hasn't really got anything going. And just until that last play with Ruffalo breaking one off on a nice run on a 3rd and long. We'll see what happens down the stretch late. This would be a huge loss for the Victor, not only the Victor offense, but the Victor defense, as Ruffalo is that star safety in the secondary.
And the Victor special teams as well. Ruffalo, the punter as well, heavily involved in the return game on both kickoffs and punts.
The whole coaching staff surrounding Adam Ruffalo at the moment. We don't want to speculate on injury, but we're worried this could be a back injury with when he was down. There's a Bruin defender landing right on his back. As soon as we get more information, we'll go back to break right now, but we'll let you all know. We'll stand by. So Ruffalo gets to his feet here at Corbett Field with a standing ovation. Everybody just hoping that he is all right. Definitely knocked out for this game, as it appears.
Not putting a ton of pressure on the right leg. He's being helped off. I think they're going to put him on the cart.
So now it's hard to go back to a football game, but it's that next man up mentality for the Victor Blue Devils. And 1st and 10 from their own 45-yard line. Lachlan fires to the outside to Nick Kriegelstein, getting a decent gain of 6 on the first play of now this drive. It feels like a different drive after that big injury timeout.
Yeah, Ruffalo able to keep the drive alive before going down with the 20-yard run.
Ruffalo in serious pain on the sideline. You really feel for him. It's a lot bigger than football. This is a kid who has carried the team this season, and to see him go down like this in the semifinal is heartbreaking. Toss to Resigliano on 2nd down. And this defensive line for the Bruins, with another tackle for loss, losing a yard, is Resigliano. And it's been impressive so far, Garrett. This Victor run offense has been dominant. We saw them last week with the attack of Resigliano and Yomas really go off. And so far early in this game, the Bruins have had every answer.
Yeah, the Blue Devils already already down one wide receiver in Eric Young, missing his second straight game. Really going to have to adapt that next man up mentality. Don't think we're going to see Ruffalo again here tonight. Look for the ball to fly in number 89 Nick Leonard's direction a lot.
A toss to Kriegelstein. And he's just short of first down yardage. 4th and 1 coming up. And Lachlan and the Victor offense is going to stay in the game.
Something to take into consideration as well is who's going to punt the ball away now for the Blue Devils. Ruffalo has been doing that all season long, done a great job of it.
We see Victor go quick. On 4th and short, it's Yomas up the middle, and Dre Yomas bouncing on the outside and breaking tackles and getting a first down. Bruin defenders initially in the backfield, and Dre Yomas doesn't care. He bounces it to the outside, picking up a huge first down to keep this drive alive for the Victor offense.
Yeah, we saw that same penetration right up the gut, but Dre Yomas bounces it outside, does a nice job, picks up a first down, and some energy is lifted back up from the Victor faithful.
So 1st and 10 now in Bruin territory at the 42-yard line. Lachlan with Yomas on his right side. Kriegelstein on the screen right here and dropping the ball. This might be a backwards pass. Kriegelstein running backwards. They're going to say it's incomplete right now, but Nick Kriegelstein falls on top of it at the 35-yard line. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah,
so they're not going to say it's a lateral pass and just incomplete.
Looks like Nick Kriegelstein is going to be the next man up here for Victor in that wide receiver 2 position now. Obviously, Kyle Sager, been the guy alongside Ruffalo all year long. On the other side, we're going to see a lot more Dennis Cole, who we saw get involved early on the first drive.
And Garrett, I think we're going to see a lot more of Nick Leonard. He's been a player on varsity for many years now. He's been a star, and I feel like you have to look to rely on him. Rosigliano to the right side. Finally getting Rosigliano some room. 3rd and moderate coming up.
Yeah, after the drop by Kriegelstein, it'll be a 3rd and 5. Nice job there on the run from Rosigliano to get this into a more 3rd and manageable. Be interested to see if Victor sort of deflates the air attack a little bit now with Ruffalo gone. Maybe rely a lot more heavily on the run game and then the quick screen game as well.
Yeah, exactly. I think quick screens and then just relying on the run game is really going to be Victor's move on offense. Kriegelstein going up the middle and getting driven backwards into the ground. The initial stop was Kieran Hughes for this Bruins defense at linebacker. Put a shoulder down and met Kriegelstein right in the hole. And a 4th and 3 coming up with 30 seconds left in this first quarter.
Sort of in an awkward spot. Ball spotted at the 34. Victor facing a 4th and 3, expecting to leave the offense on the field.
And with 6 seconds of separation between game clock and play clock, if Victor doesn't call a timeout, they're going to have to snap this ball. They do call a timeout. And with 12 seconds left of the first quarter, it's a 4th and 3 at the Brighton 34-yard line on the Section 5 Broadcast Network presented by CR Sports.
It's a magical place for kids of all abilities. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp. Where kids have no barriers to fun. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp.
Back here at Corbett Field after the timeout. 4th and 3 for the Blue Devils. 12 seconds left in this first quarter, Garrett. And it's a first quarter. We'll recap it right after this 12 seconds, this last play. But it's a first quarter that's been all over the place, and Feels like the Blue Devils need something big to go their way, and this is a big play right here. Resigliano right next to Jake Lachlan. Kriegelstein behind. They're going to toss it to Kriegelstein. Kriegelstein's going to throw to Cole. He catches it inside the 5. Goes Dennis Cole. Touchdown, Victor. A trick play by Jeff Mandel, taking the timeout to think it over. And just like that, a huge momentum shift for the Blue Devils here in the semifinal.
Yeah, we were questioning the decision of Jeff Mandel to just let the clock down and call a timeout because of the difference in the play clock. But boy, did he use that timeout well. Dialing up an absolute beauty of a trick play. Kriegelstein drops a dime into Dennis Cole. He finds the end zone for the first time this season, and the Blue Devils spring themselves to an early 7-0 lead.
Mason Overton good on the point after. And this crowd has new life and energy just went through all of Corbett Field. The Victor student section is feeling it after that one, and so is everyone else here, especially the people on the Victor bench. They needed that. 4 seconds left in this first quarter. 7-0 Victor here on the Section 5 Broadcast Network.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
We're back after a very exciting play as Nick Kriegelstein, a cornerback and a wide receiver this year for the Blue Devils, goes to quarterback on that play, throwing it to Dennis Cole. It's been that next man up mentality so far in this game for Victor as Adam Ruffalo went down here on the kickoff with some space to the left side. There goes Stirrup. Stirrup on his way to the end zone. He's untouched. And just like that, Brighton answers immediately. What an action-packed 12 seconds in this first quarter.
Is that number 5? Yes. Yeah.
So Wes Stirrup for the Brighton Bruins answering the trick play call from the Blue Devils.
We'd waited 11 minutes and change to see some action out of the timeout. The next 2 plays, first the trick play from Victor ending in the score, and Stirrup can't answer much faster than that, returning the kickoff all the way to the house.
See what the referees call here. And it's going to be a false start on Brighton, so it's going to back up this point after 5 yards.
And we knew with the exit of Adam Ruffalo due to injury was going to impact both the offense and the defense, but also having a large impact on the special teams there is he's one of the premier tacklers.
So Grady Hopkin on the point after drills it right through a line drive. So 7-7. We look to have an instant classic in this Class A semifinal. Victor and Brighton all tied.
Whoa, slow down, dude. We're not trying to break the sound barrier. Wow! Wide turn, buddy. What the heck? Whew. Hey, you got your blinker on, bud. Hey, driver, 2 hands on the wheel, please. 10 and 2, not when and 2.
Gotta be kidding me.
Oh, nice. I love the Rolling Stones. Almost as much as you love the Rolling Stops. You know what? No music. Let's just go peace and quiet. Yeah, let me put you on speaker. I'm in a drift right now.
because your driver is crappy as all the other
Oh,
ones?
yeah, for sure. This dude is a mess.
They're all a mess.
Seatbelt. Hey, if you think you can do a better job driving, why don't you give it a try next time?
Dude, I lost my license a year ago. Why do you think I needed the drift?
Unbelievable.
Nobody likes a backseat driver.
Where is everybody? I thought there was a game today.
Not even the game day officials. Empty stadiums could soon be a reality due to the nationwide shortage of referees. It's time for spectators to bench the bad behavior and treat them with respect.
Guess I need another drift.
Be loud, be proud, and be positive.
Back at Corbett Field, tied up 7-7. Squib kick. And this one's muffed again. But Victor falls right on top of it. So, Garrett, let's break down what's happened in literally 12 seconds. First, a toss to Nick Kriegelstein on 4th and 3. He throws to the end zone, finds Dennis Cole, Jr. He breaks the tackle, falls in for the touchdown. And then immediately, Wes Surup on the kick return for Brighton finds a seam, breaks it out to the left side, and showcases his speed and scores. And we're tied at 7. A very lackadaisical first quarter for the majority of it in the last 12 seconds just proved that otherwise. Handoff to Rosigliano up the middle. Finally getting him space. That's his second run where he's gotten something going. Nice gain of 8.
Through the first couple drives, it felt like two teams were just trying not to lose instead of trying to win, and then it all started with that 4th down gutsy play call out of the timeout from Jeff Mandel, trusting Nick Kriegelstein. That play was set up very nicely. They'd ran 3 or 4 screen passes already out in the flat, so they were able to sneak Dennis Cole Jr. past the secondary.
And another injury for the Blue Devils is Jamison Rosigliano. This would be a brutal loss as well. He's been a key piece for them this season. And that 1-2 punch of Rosigliano and Yomas that we've seen so frequently, if Rosigliano goes down, you have to expect Andrew Goodell to get those lost carries.
Yeah, Andrew Goodell and Nate Harris have been the 3rd and 4th backs. Looks like Rosigliano might be pointing to the knee as he gets up.
Looks to be all right. Rosigliano walking off under his own power without any real signs of a limp. You hope it's just a bone bruise. Needed knee on a collision. But Rosigliano looks to be okay. Hopefully we'll see him in shortly. But after his run of 8, it's 2nd and 2.
And if it is indeed a bone bruise, the best thing for that is just to keep playing and keep it loose. Don't sit around and let it tighten up. Certainly cannot afford to lose him as they're already without Adam Ruffalo now.
Cole, the touchdown scorer, on the outside next to Kyle Sager. Brighton looks to be bringing pressure, and it looks like he jumped off sides on the far side. Kieran Hughes.
Yeah, Hughes looked like he got a little too excited. This Bruins defense might have been bringing a little pressure there, and Hughes just went a little early, so a free 1st down.
As an outside linebacker, when the blitz gets called, he's looking to get after it immediately, and he was a little too overzealous right there. 1st and 10 at the 47 now. Lachlan rolls out left. Trying to get it to Cole. Pass is broken up. It's incomplete by John Ahern.
Yeah, John Aaron's the nice coverage there against Dennis Cole. Had it for a second. Ball knocked out of his hands. Lachlan a little too far on the delivery. Ball that could have been caught.
So 2nd and 10 now for Victor. It's going to be very interesting to see what they do with their true passing game. We know they had that gadget play with Kriegelstein where the big touchdown was produced. But every down, it used to be find Adam Ruffalo immediately. Here they fire it to the outside to Nick Leonard, getting the big man in space and running through a Bruin defender is Nick Leonard. He took Caleb Matthews to the ground with him. And that might be something that Victor looks to do now with the absence of Adam Ruffalo. Nick Leonard, a guy we mentioned, he's played so well so far defensively. Let's let's look to see if they want to get him in space, take red zone shots to him. You could really utilize the big tight end in many different ways.
Yeah, not a fun guy to tackle either. Really physical, and when he gets moving downhill, he can run over anyone, as we saw on that last play. Split out wide on this one.
Yomas starts up the middle, tries to go to the right side. He gets brought down by Amari Snowden.
Great tackle there from Snowden. Looked like some space was out in front of Yomas. Had a couple blockers downfield, but Snowden able to contain that play for just a gain of 1.
Yeah, Dre Yomas, how many times have we said, oh, Yomas breaks a tackle. Yomas makes a man miss. That's been Dre Yomas's forte so far this season. And it's a great play by Snowden, Garrett. I agree with you. You're stopping a guy who's not only very big and powerful, but he's also fast. So Lachlan on play action, fires it to the outside, looking for Leonard again. Pass is off the left hand of Nick Leonard as they're just too far out in front. And it's 3rd and 9 coming up.
Jamison Resigliano was back in on that play. Surrounding Lachlan in the backfield. He'll stay out there for this next play as well, so a good sign there. Hopefully he's all right.
3rd and 9, Victor definitely thinking 2 downs right here. You want to make, if you don't get the first down on this play, you're definitely going to want to make this a 4th and short. That's where they've made their money so far this season and in this playoff run. So Lachlan rolls out right, then goes back middle. Looking for Kriegelstein, passes incomplete. 2 defenders in the area of Kriegelstein. And it's 4th and 9 now.
Looked like everything was covered up there. Lachlan sort of just took a shot downfield. Not really near Kriegelstein, though.
I don't love that if I'm Jake Lachlan or Jeff Mandel, the Victor's head coach. You want to at least get yards. You want to set your team up for a 4th and short, 4th and manageable. 4th and 9 gets real difficult. I know you're at the 41-yard line, so you're definitely going to go for it in high school football. But that was a situation where, I don't know, if you could tuck it down and run it, pick up 5 yards, make it a 4th and 4, 4th and 3, it would have been very beneficial for this Victor offense. And another timeout from Mandel, as Victor would like to think this one over. I don't know if we're going to see another Nick Kriegelstein play call, Nick Kriegelstein throw. But Victor is going to look to get something here on a big 4th down.
Yeah, we'll see if they come out with another trick play, as they did the last one. But it's a ball that Lachlan probably like to have back. Maybe just eat it, gain a couple yards, get this into a 4th and more manageable, maybe a 5 or 6 instead of that 4th and 9 that they're in right now. Look for them to draw up something to Nick Leonard, though, in the timeout. Get the tight end possibly in space, maybe hit him on a seam route or crosser over in the middle. Still just the 1 catch for Leonard as we're a quarter and change into this one.
Yeah, so as the Victor offense talks it over, they come back out for a 4th and 9 at the 41-yard line. And Nick Leonard, I like how you mentioned that, Garrett. So far this season, he hasn't been the featured guy in the air attack for the Blue Devils, and that really hasn't been their approach. We'll see if that changes here. It's just going to be a Lachlan with a fake punt, and now rolling out right, just looking downfield, and he's going to fire it incomplete, so it's a turnover on downs. And confusion from this Victor offense as they're all pointing fingers. Hard to tell what happened right there. First the punt from Lachlan, and then looking for Kyle Sager downfield. He was just not open, and that's a play that didn't really have any promise from the beginning.
Looked like we were going to see a pooch punt from Lachlan, but some pressure on him. He ended up rolling out and throwing that one away. That's a play where maybe you just take a shot downfield, give a receiver a chance, maybe draw a flag. Even if it gets intercepted, as long as he's brought down rather quickly, the field position is actually worse.
So here's Martinovic in the Bruin offense. Handoff to Parks on the inside zone. Gavin Parks fighting his way inside Victor territory after picking up the 1st down. And 3 extra yards, a gain of 13 on that run. And Parks so far in this game has been very impressive on offense.
Yeah, Gavin Parks, they gave him a lot of opportunities thus far tonight, and he's taking advantage of them. Martinovic still yet to attempt a pass. This just being Brighton's second offensive possession, though, due to the kickoff return from West Stirrup.
You see West Stirrup on the far side of your screen. Martinovic steps up in the pocket, taking off, showcasing his speed. His jersey gets ripped to the ground by Jerry Yomas. His shirt or jersey that he was wearing, I don't know if it was undershirt, got completely stretched out on that tackle. And it's going to be a 2nd and 5.
A little tug-of-war action on the undershirt. Martinovic has got to tuck that in now. A little foxtail created on that play, but a nice job from Martinovic to just take the 5-yard gain. Didn't like what he saw down the field.
Well, after the 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5 and jumping, is Jamison Riley. So it'll be an automatic first down now after the yardage of 5 yards. So 1st and 10 now for Brighton at the 35-yard line, at the 36.
Yeah, very similar to their first drive now. Brighton sort of in that same area before they had those back-to-back-to-back penalties that completely just sucked any momentum out of that first drive. Like to prevent that here.
Handoff to Parks once more on the inside zone. And Gavin Parks, with a gain of 7. It's been hard to stop him so far in this game for Victor. You saw them make adjustments in those early drives where Parks got things going on the first drive. But so far on this second offensive drive for the Bruins, it's been hard to stop Parks. And Garrett, they haven't tested Martinovic's arm yet tonight. And he's a guy that obviously is very capable, big-time thrower, great QB, but the game plan has been run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, and run the ball some more.
I haven't really needed to test him too much.
That is true, and they run it again with Parks picking up the first down at the 24-yard line. Go the Bruins.
Parks just continuing to find holes and just leverage yards, really.
And you look at the two different offenses, right? Victor's offense hasn't been this vanilla where, hey, we can just run the ball, same play 5 times in a row and march it right down the field. They've had to create plays with trick plays. And here's this inside zone again with Parks, and it's working every time, picking up more yardage, give him a gain of 6. And it's been the run to the right side on the offensive line.
Yeah, the inside zone. Parks has been starting to the left of Martinovic, working to his right, attacking that left side of the Victor D-line. And Brighton offense really in no hurry as they've milked the play clock on pretty much every snap now.
Martinovic taking it himself on the read option, makes one man miss. Martinovic makes another man miss. Oh, a third! Diving for the end zone touchdown. There is a flag down. We'll see what the call is. A great run by Martinovic for the touchdown at the moment, but a holding on the offensive line, and that's very costly for the Bruins.
And the penalties, a storyline to follow early on, is that's now Brighton's 4th on offense. We saw them disrupt the first drive. Now that's going to bring back the touchdown run from Martinovic, making 3-man miss on the play, but going to be nullified by the yellow flag.
So a big missed opportunity for Brighton. They would have taken the lead right there with 6 minutes left of this first half. And instead, they're set up 2nd and 11. Parks running it on that inside zone again, just evading a tackler in the backfield. It looked like Jackson Tucker was going to make the stop on Parks. Instead, Gavin Parks rushes for another nice gain of 9.
Yeah, Parks not going down easy at all tonight. It's taken 2, 3, even 4 defenders sometimes for this Victor defense to bring him down. Again, attacking that right side like you mentioned. It's been that same inside zone that Victor's really struggled to stop.
So we'll see if the Bruins go back to it once more. Instead, it's Martinovic rolling out left. Going to run it himself, getting a first down and more. And it's going to be first and goal for the Bruins. It's Tyler Martinovic showing his legs, not his arm tonight, but it's been very effective.
Yeah, rolling out to his left. Looked like he had a shot to throw it to the back pylon for West Stirrup, but he eats it instead, and it works out just fine, picking up a first down. Martinovic not really in any hurry to use his arm as the ground attack for this Bruins offense has stood the test of time so far.
And you can only imagine, Garrett, first and goal from the 7, that you're going to see more of that here in the red zone. And I think more of the read option. Because Martinovic can run it so effectively, and you have Parks on the inside zone, Victor's going to have to make a real tough decision on who to cover on the read option. Instead, they go to Parks. Instead of Martinovic, Parks fighting his way and churning his way forward to the end zone. No signal. Now it is touchdown Bruins. They take the lead. 13-7 is Brighton over the Blue Devils. And now the point after to make it a 7-point lead.
And who would you expect to cap off that drive besides Gavin Parks? Running the ball all the way up the field. Martinovic, a couple nice runs there once they got in opponent territory, and Parks finishes off the drive. Brighton's offense seems to be finding a rhythm.
Grady Hopkins' point after is up and through. So 14-7, Brighton on top of Victor. Live at Corbett Field, Michael Rickey and Garrett Clare, we're glad you're with us tonight. Stay tuned. This is a fun one on the Section 5 Broadcast Network.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
Back at Corbett Field, Brighton just took the lead 14-7 with a Gavin Parks drive. It's been inside zone after inside zone. And then the occasional read option with Tyler Martinovic. And the Brighton Bruins showcasing their run offense so far tonight. We'll see if Victor can answer. Ball picked up by Kevin Booth at the 20-yard line. And he's not going to go much further as the Victor offense trots out once more.
Yeah, I know Adam Ruffalo mostly plays safety for the Victor defense, but he makes a lot of tackles in the run game coming up. Very physical defender out of that safety position, and I think his presence was really missed there.
What do you have, 18 tackles in one game this season? He's a guy that really impacts the game on all levels. His presence cannot go without notice. This is a guy that is an impact in all three phases, offense, defense, and especially special teams. With punting the ball, not a lot of people can do that. So a big loss for the Blue Devils and Adam Ruffalo. And they're going to look to rebound. And it has to be that next man up mentality. We'll see if they can effectively go with that. And absolutely getting rocked in the backfield. It looked like it was Matthew Henninger on the stop. And Jameson Lasigliano limping off now after getting hit very hard right in the middle of that line.
Yeah, he's taking some shots tonight. Sticking his nose in there like he always does. Matthew Henninger on the tackle there, coming up from the linebacker position. Making sure Sigliano knew he wasn't going to get much on that carry.
If Sigliano didn't know he was there before, he definitely knows now. 2nd and 10. Lachlan firing this to the outside to Leonard, and he just overthrows it. So after the incomplete pass by Lachlan, it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, we've seen starting to see some frustration now from these Victor receivers and tight end Nick Leonard as Lachlan. That's the 3rd ball he's thrown pretty much out of reach. A couple of the balls before had been catchable, but put that more on the quarterback. Not putting it on the numbers in there. Leonard, no chance on that ball.
And we saw this in the first half of the Churchville-Chili game a week ago in the quarterfinal. Jake Lachlan with 3 interceptions in the first half. Victor then did get it going in the second. Dre Yomas now with a gain of 2. So 4th down for Victor. And this is an offense that looks really stagnant right now, Garrett, besides the trick play and to Nick Kriegelstein and Dennis Cole. This offense hasn't gotten anything going.
No, this offense continues to struggle without Adam Ruffalo. Now their second drive, going to be 2 punts as well. Mason Overton now punting the ball away, the place kicker for the Blue Devils.
And the punt takes a nice Victor bounce all the way to the 30-yard line, inside the 30 to the 29. So a punt that landed at about the 45, 50-yard line, rolls 20 extra yards. And that's huge for Victor as Brighton doesn't get prime field position.
This is a huge drive for both squads. Brighton gets the ball just under 4 minutes to go. They elected to receive in the second half, so they will get the ball again after halftime. If they can use a couple minutes off the clock and get points on this drive, they would get the ball back-to-back, really, especially if they go into halftime with a 2-score lead. They would have complete control of this one.
So on 1st and 10, it's Martinovich keeping it himself and picking up a nice gain along the sideline of 5 yards. And Victor's really going to have to come up with an answer for this Bruins rushing attack, as it's been dominant so far in this game. And frustration is boiling over this Victor offense, this Victor coaching staff. And you can only imagine the Victor players on the sideline.
Yeah, this Victor defense having real trouble stopping Martinovich and Parks on the rushing attack. Still Martinovich without a pass attempt.
And finally, Victor stopping Parks for a moderate gain, about 2 to 3 yards, and setting up a 3rd and short. Nick Leonard was one of the Victor defenders in there, along with Jamison Riley, Connor Doran, Jackson Tucker, that Victor defensive line.
And this Victor defense facing its biggest play of the night, trying to give their offense one more chance before halftime. As the clock approaches 3 minutes to go here.
Stir up in motion. Leonard wants a false start. Two seconds left on the play clock. Brighton just gets a snap off. Hand off to Parks. Parks spins. Parks with the first down and more. Gavin Parks to the 48-yard line. And he has been very elusive so far in this game, and Victor still doesn't have any answer for him. Whenever you think that Gavin Parks' production is slowed down, okay, that's not a run of about 8 yards, 9 yards, what he's been getting. And it's a gain of 2, it's a gain of 1. Oh, then there's Gavin Parks again, making people miss and falling forward for extra yards. Fake the handoff to Stirrup. Martinovich up the middle and just pushing forward. It's Bruins' offensive line. Push Martinovich forward for a couple extra.
And coming into this one, we knew the read option was really going to be the vocal point of the Bruins offense, and they have lived completely true to that statement, just going to it pretty much every play. And Gavin Parks has taken the carries most of the time, but Martinovich has been keeping the defense on his heels with his own legs.
Yeah, and I was talking to the Victor coaching staff before this game, and they said heavy RPO. You haven't seen the P in that, the pass option. You've seen a lot of the run. And there you go. You stop Parks. No gain. 3rd and 2. But as I just said before, when you've stopped him for one play, it feels like he answers right back immediately. So Victor obviously trying to avoid that now on 3rd down with the ball at their own 44-yard line. 1 minute and 40 seconds left of this first half.
Yeah, Victor
looking to keep the score what it is.
Victor's just the one timeout remaining as well, so I don't think we're going to see them be too aggressive if they do get the ball back.
And Martinovich easily picking up the first down on the sideline and going out of bounds, stopping the clock.
And we knew the injury to Adam Ruffalo was going to sort of deflate this whole crowd and a lot of the players on the team, but when we saw that trick play, we thought maybe a new life was going to be sprung from this Victor sideline, but these players just, something seems a little bit off since Adam Ruffalo's gone out. The lack of energy, maybe a little bit, maybe a lack of confidence as well, as they don't have that all-star safety playing behind them.
1st and 10 from the 41. Handoff to Parks on the left side. Parks making some jump cuts and now puts his shoulder down and getting a gain of 8. He stays in bounds and calling a timeout is the Bruins.
Yeah, we'll see if the Bruins out of this timeout want to try to get into a little more tempo as clock starting to become more of a factor here. Ball still outside the 30-yard line, and they haven't introduced the passing attack yet tonight. If they're going to keep it on the run, that clock's just going to keep churning.
And Garrett, I think this is a perfect time, so we got a little bit of a break, the timeout break, to talk about our own podcast, CR Sports. The C comes from your last name, Claire, my last name, Ricky. CR Sports, we created it over a year ago now, created over 50 episodes. We've interviewed sports broadcasters in the country, interviewed people in sports. It's a fun time. We talk about a little bit of everything. So if you're ever looking to listen to a good podcast, we recommend our own, as we should, on YouTube. Check it out. We produce episodes, few a month, couple a month. It's a good time. And then when we do these games, obviously you're not going to get as much episodes, but CR Sports. That's us. And now with 2nd and 2, this Brighton offense, we'll go back to the game now. This Brighton offense has been just running the ball down the throat. Are we going to see a pass? I think that's the question. You saw Churchville Chili take shots downfield, test the young Victor cornerbacks, and instead Brighton doesn't want any part of that, and they're just going to run the ball. Parks getting no gain on that play. Rosigliano and Sager on the stop. And it's 3rd and 2. Clock ticks within a minute now.
Yeah, no real reason to pass the ball yet for Tyler Martinovich, but the clock's now under a minute to go. I know the Bruins have the really good kicking game with Grady Hopkin, but expecting to see maybe a pass or two mixed in here.
Martinovich on the read option, takes it himself and dives forward. This is a close call. We'll see if it's a first down. They haven't moved the chains yet. And it looks like they're going to call for a measurement.
Yeah, I think they're going to bring the sticks out here. It looked like Martinovich was going to be stopped short, but a great job of just extending the ball, diving out right before he went down.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of space right there. But the end of the play, it's hard to tell where his elbow went down. But it's very close. We'll see what the call is. We had a couple of close calls just a week ago. This is a big one. And he is just short. 4th down is the call. 4th and inches for this Brighton offense. So Victor looking for a big stop. They've limited the running game, Garrett, to their credit in this past couple plays. They're going to have to do it once more. And you're going to want a chance to put some points on the board with 30 seconds left if they get the ball. With one timeout left, you're the 1 seed. You're down by 7 at the moment. You don't want to go in with a bigger deficit at halftime. But you would love to put some extra points up on the board. Maybe even if it's 3. Trust the leg of Mason Overton. He's gotten better and better throughout this season, especially at extra points. So if you get it close, I say within the 20, at least give him a chance to kick it for 3. And then obviously putting it in the end zone would be huge. But right now, it's 4th and inches for the Bruins, and they're saying the exact same thing. We get this first down, we're in business. We're putting extra points up on the board. We're saying we don't care that you're the 1 seed. We're asserting our dominance. So Martinovich hands it off to Parks, up the middle. Parks diving forward for a first down. Gavin Parks showcasing his athleticism as he hops right over the Victor defensive line.
Not too surprised we saw the read option there Martinovic now.
His first pass of the game to the outside. Touchdown! John Hearns for the Bruins. There's the first pass, and it's a big one. The 4-seed Bruins take the lead 20-7.
Yeah, John Arens gets behind the defense there. And Brighton's first pass is a successful one as it ends in a touchdown. They'll take a 2-score lead now going into the break, assuming Victor's just going to kneel the rest of the half out. But maybe the Victor defense caught asleep a little bit as Brighton had just been dominating with that read option. Finally, they opened it up to the air attack, and it was successful.
Extra point is good, so 21-7. The 4-seed Brighton Bruins looking like the 1-seed here tonight so far, up 21-7 over the 1-seed Victor Blue Devils. This has been a fun one. It's been back and forth until now. Brighton, it was going back and forth. Brighton scores. Victor doesn't answer. They take advantage of that. The fourth down, turnover, on downs, right away. Another fourth down conversion for this Brighton offense. And then finally, the first shot, John Hearns left alone. Back of the end zone, the cornerback, I think it was, I couldn't see who it was, either if it was Kriegelstein or Booth. Lost track of him in the air. And it was an easy pitch and catch for 7.
Yeah, and Victor, as they go into halftime, I think the defensive adjustment is pretty easy. Stop the run game. Gavin Parks and Tyler Martinovic have ran all over this defense. It's a little more complicated on the offensive side. How do you account for having no Adam Ruffalo in the offense? Is it going to lead to a heavier rush attack? You're going to try to get guys like Dennis Cole, Kyle Sager, and Nick Kriegelstein involved more. Are you going to maybe introduce someone new into the backfield, whether it's Andrew Goodell? We haven't seen him yet tonight, so a lot of question marks for the Victor offense.
And Garrett, I think you asked one key question right there. How do you account for Adam Ruffalo? Adam Ruffalo is missing on offense. You really can't. He's a guy that you can't really place a value on him, I feel like. He's the heart and soul of this team. He means everything to this team, both offensively and defensively. Oh yeah, and special teams-wise. But they're going to need an inspiring speech at halftime. They're going to need something to rejuvenate them with energy, because down 2 scores right now to the Bruins, who have just ran it down their throat. Like you said, you're going to have to stop that run. You're going to need something big to change in the second half. So 18 seconds left. Oh, it's a fumbled snap, and Jake Lachlan, lucky that it bounced right back up into his arms as he falls on top of it. And Victor's just going to say that's the end of the first half. They're not going to hope for anything terrible to happen anymore. It's been a pretty rough first half for the Blue Devils. Down 2 scores. We go to halftime on the Section 5 Broadcast Network presented by CR Sports.
It's a magical place for kids of all abilities. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp. Where kids have no barriers to fun. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp.
Well, Garrett, we're back to start off the second half. Brighton up 21-7 at halftime over the Victor Blue Devils. It's a 1-seed matchup and a 4-seed matchup. So far tonight, Michael Rickey alongside Garrett Clare. It's been Brighton taking advantage early in the first half.
Yeah, that first quarter featured no points. Victor came out in the last play of the first quarter is when we saw our first points on that Victor trick play. Looked like after the exiting Adam Ruffalo went out with possibly a nerve in his back. Looked like we were going to see this Victor crowd and sideline get going a little bit, but Brighton 21 unanswered points, and they took a 14-point lead into halftime, and they'll receive the opening kick as well to start the second half.
And let's talk about the trick play. You saw Nick Kriegelstein throw the touchdown pass to Dennis Cole Jr., and then you saw Wes Stirrup and the Brighton special teams answer immediately. I think that was the big turning point in this game. Wes Stirrup said, I'm not going to let that play affect us emotionally, and Victor, they didn't. Victor let it affect them. Brighton did not. This is one of the big key factors and problems so far for the Victor Blue Devils. And they're going to look to get a play of their own, what Wes Stirrup had. They're going to look to get another one of those Nick Kriegelstein touchdown passes. They're going to look to get a splash play. It's something that they need, and they're going to have to first start with stopping the run and Gavin Parks. So a touchback for the Bruins and their offense led by Tyler Martinovich. We saw him in the first half showcase his legs, and he threw it one time, but that one time for the touchdown to John Ahern's, the left-hand side of the end zone. And this Brighton offense has been led by Martinovich, his legs, the read option, especially showcasing Gavin Parks.
Yeah, look for maybe Victor's special teams, Sean Rucker to try to dial up a pressure or two, maybe on a punt or something, just to try to give this Victor team some momentum.
Running it up the middle is Parks with a short gain, brought down by Nick Leonard.
Yeah, we mentioned how often Brighton loves to run that read option, but keeping the ball on the ground also going to keep the clock going, and clock's something that now in their favor as they're up 14 in the second half.
So 2nd and 7. Martinovich rolling out left, fakes the pass, now throws down the sideline for his man, Grady Hopkin. But they're going to say the pass is incomplete. Hopkin had a lot of room right there if he was able to keep his feet in. Just a big miss right there.
Yeah, what a play by Tyler Martinovich. Looked like he was just going to scramble out, take a couple-yard gain, but Grady Hopkin found himself behind the defense. Martinovich drops in a dime, but Hopkins bobbles it, eventually out of bounds, and it'll bring up a 3rd and 7 now. A crucial play to start the second half.
So 3rd and 7, Victor looking to produce a 3-and-out for this Brighton offense. Martinovich throws it over the middle, pass incomplete, broken up by Kevin Booth. But there comes a flag. Booth with the coverage on Ahern's. The Victor crowd doesn't like it, and neither does the Victor defense, especially Kevin Booth.
Martinovich trying to find John Ahrens there. It looked like Booth got there a touch early, which drew the flag. I think it's going to be pass interference.
They're talking about the call. And here it is. Pass interference against Kevin Booth. The sophomore stepping up for Eric Young in his injury.
And just when you thought the Blue Devil defense was going to get off the field, force a 3-and-out to start the second half, the penalties, which killed Brighton so much in that first half, works against Victor here, and a new set of downs for Brighton.
Read option. Up the middle goes Martinovic, getting a gain of 8 yards. It looked like Gavin Parks had the ball there. Good sell by Martinovic. And gets a nice gain, setting up second and short.
Back to that read option. We've seen it so often tonight, and really no reason to stray away from it, as it's worked well, whether it's Parks or Martinovic carrying the ball. They haven't even done too much fancy on a jet sweep or anything. It's really just been between the tackles. They've been the more physical team thus far tonight.
Welker in motion, the big tight end. And now Wes Stirrup in motion, gets the ball in the end around. Wes Stirrup makes one man miss, now gets wrestled down to the ground by Dre Yomas, and Jamison Resigliano finishing it off. This gets brought down right at the sticks, just short of a first down. So 3rd and 1 yard for this Brighton offense.
And we knew Brighton had one of the stronger O-lines in Section 5 coming into this one, but boy, have they asserted their dominance against this Victor D line, who we've seen get a lot of pressure on most of the teams they've played so far this season.
Indeed they have, Garrett. They're looking for more of that right here. 3rd and 1. Handoff to Parks up the middle, and there is that offensive line with a huge hole. Gavin Parks untouched for 8 yards and then finally gets brought down, but it's in Victor territory to the 46-yard line, or the 44-yard line.
Yeah, and in that first meeting between Victor and Brighton just dominated the time of possession and the total plays as well. And they're doing the same thing here tonight, keeping the ball out of Victor's hands. That explosive offense has been sidelined for much of tonight.
3 receivers on the left side for Martinovic and the Bruins. Parks aside, Martinovic, handed off to Parks, up the middle. Moderate gain of 5. And when it looks like Gavin Parks doesn't have a lot of room, this offensive line, that's a rare thing. They usually get pushed. They usually create holes. On a play like that, looks like there's not a lot of room for Parks. Showcases his speed. He can get through a hole so fast. So if you create just a little bit of space for him, he's still dangerous.
Yeah, done a great job of just getting skinny in order to fit through those tight holes that the offensive line has been creating.
Stirrup again on the end around, and he's just going and fighting forward with a gain of 7 for the first down. Wes Stirrup. You saw him in the first time that Brighton and Victor played that scary injury. It was a game stop for 30 minutes. People worried what happened to him. He showed that he's been able to bounce back. Oh, there's a flag on that play, and they're going to call holding on the Bruins. So that's a costly call for Brighton. You saw the costly call for Victor earlier in this drive with the pass interference. And this moves the Bruins back, erasing that first down.
Yeah, Stirrup had to be taken to the hospital after he went down very scarily that first time these teams faced off. Stirrup was able to actually play the next week, though. Glad to see that he was all right, and he's making a big impact tonight.
2nd and 12, handoff to Parks. Parks with a nice gain of 4 or 5. Down the sideline. And it's setting up 3rd down now for the Bruins. And this is something that I feel like, Garrett, if they can get a first down here, if Brighton can push the ball down the field, score again on this opening drive of the second half, they're setting themselves up perfectly for the rest of this game. And it would be hard for Victor to climb out of that type of hole with 3 scores.
Yeah, they've already chewed up about 3.5 minutes.
5 seconds left on the play clock. Brighton trying to go fast and get this play off. They do. Martinovic up the seam to Stirrup. He's got him. Inside the 15-yard line goes Wes Stirrup. And a dime by Martinovic right up the seam to a wide open Wes Stirrup, who has been everywhere for the Bruins, both on offense and special teams.
And that's where you really miss Adam Ruffalo, playing that safety position, just taking care of balls deep down the field. You never see Victor get beat deep down the field because Adam Ruffalo has the best range in Section 5. Getting over how many balls has he intercepted that looked like he had no chance to get to, and they're really missing him right now. 1st and 10. Over the middle on a slant. Pass is incomplete.
from Martinovic.
Yeah, Brighton now in field goal range, though. Victor needs a turnover, just some type of big play. They can't let this one get to 3 scores.
Yeah, Garrett, if you're looking for a turnover, a big play, a momentum shifter, we've been calling on it all night for the Blue Devils ever since Brighton went up 2 scores. That time is now. The opening drive, if it results in a touchdown for the Bruins, it's costly on the morale of your team and the whole feel that you have for the rest of this game. And then you just look at the scoreboard and you say, this is really hard to climb out of as it is. Stir up and get in motion. Instead, they're going to hand it to Parks. Gavin Parks with a gain of 4, setting up a 3rd and 6.
Yeah, so a 3rd down and 6, like you mentioned here. Be interested to see what happens if Brighton gets stopped at this point in the game. We'll see if they send out Hopkins to kick the field goal or if they leave the offense on the field. Want to go for this one and just take an absolutely commanding 21-point lead. Victor certainly cannot afford to let the Bruins get in the end zone right here.
Yeah, and Garrett, I really think it matters what happens on this play. It's not a goal, 3rd and goal, 4th and goal play right now. So we'll see what happens on this 3rd down. Huge 3rd and 6 for the Bruins. Parks with space. Gavin Parks breaks through a couple tacklers and walks into the end zone for the Bruins. And Brighton up 3 scores with a commanding 27-7 lead here in the early part of this 3rd quarter.
Parks gets in, finds the end zone once again tonight. He's just been electric carrying the ball. Victor, still no solution for him. That read option continues to give this Victor defense fits.
So here's the point after by Hopkins. A dominant drive once again by the Bruins after a costly penalty that would have created a 3 and out on Kevin Booth, the pass interference, and 28-7. Bruins on top over the 1 seed, 9-0 Victor Blue Devils. They're on the ropes early in the second half. Stay tuned and stay with us on the Section 5 Broadcast Network presented by CR Sports.
It's a magical place for kids of all abilities. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp. Where kids have no barriers to fun. The Rochester Rotary Sunshine Camp.
Back here at Corbett Field, Michael Rickey alongside Garrett Clare. The Brighton Bruins are up 28-7 over the Victor Blue Devils after taking 5 minutes off the clock on that opening drive of the second half. Nate Harris picking up the squib kick and going down to the 40-yard line. But Garrett up 3 scores now. 21 points is the difference. Victor is on the ropes, and they're going to look to answer and just try to do something.
Yeah, I really don't think Brighton could have dreamed up a better drive out of halftime. Taking 5 minutes off the clock, the run was working again. Martinovic got involved in the pass game. A nice throw there to West Stirrup on a key 3rd down, but I think that pass interference, costly for the Blue Devils, could have gotten a 3 and out. Instead, Brighton takes it down into the end zone.
A screen to the outside to Nick Leonard. Gets a gain of 3 on 1st down. Just not a lot of space for Leonard. And that's kind of been the story of the night besides that one trick play. It's hard when trick plays are the only positive thing you could point to in an offense because the defensive side of the ball for the Bruins, they're expecting that now. They're not going to get tricked the second time. So Victor's going to have to look to go somewhere on offense that they can find production. Lachlan throwing it to the outside to Sager. Pass is contested and caught. Nice catch by Kyle Sager. 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, I think we should look for Kyle Sagal a bunch more tonight. Just his first target of the night. He's a lead receiver with Adam Ruffalo going down, but I think, obviously, Adam Ruffalo going down, we've mentioned it so many times because of how important it is, but Brighton's just been able to completely just leave the secondary wide open because they know that Adam Ruffalo is one of the only deep threats that Victor can rely on consistently. So they've just packed the box, and there's been no room to run all night long.
Victor has to use one of the 3 timeouts already in the second half as there was miscommunication getting the play call in, and the play clock was winding down. And we'll be with you right after this quick 30-second break.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section with Mugs and More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugs and more to see the many options and place your order.
We're back, Garrett, with this 3rd and 1 at the 49-yard line on Victor's side of midfield. Looking for a first down are the Blue Devils. A fake toss, and it's going to Resigliano, and he gets blasted in the backfield. That's Caleb Matthews again. We've said his name a couple times so far tonight, and this is one of the positive plays that he's made, blowing up Jamison Resigliano, and now it's a 4th and much longer.
Yeah, Caleb Matthews completely blew up that play. Looked like they had a couple Bruins defenders fooled on the fake run to the outside, but Overton's going to come out to punt. Caleb Matthews completely denying any chance of life for Resigliano to pick up that first down.
You see the frustration boiling over on the Victor sideline with offensive lineman Anthony Battaglia slamming his helmet to the turf. And that's been the story of the night ever since Adam Ruffalo has gone down. And Brighton has taken full advantage of that.
Brighton loves to sit in that 3-3 defense. It's been really successful tonight. And they've been able to just pack the box and force Victor to do what they don't love to do, which is throw the ball, put the ball into the hands of Jake Laughlin over and over again. And he hasn't been there to answer the call at times tonight, especially with Adam Ruffalo going down, though. That's been his favorite target all year long. You have to think that's been one of the biggest impacts of why Victor hasn't been able to get anything working past the sticks.
Garrett, I don't think you could have said it any better. That's what the Victor Blue Devils need to do, and they don't have their main guy and their main piece that makes that part of their offense flow. So Victor's trying to work around it. As on first down, Jamison Riley on the stop, along with Jackson Pelosi. Pelosi went down with that shin injury earlier in the season. He's back now for sectionals. Didn't see him a lot last week, coming back from the injury, still rehabbing. We've seen him in and out of the lineup so far tonight. But there hasn't been an answer, regardless of who's in, for the Blue Devils in this Brighton Bruins rushing attack. So in 2nd down and 15 after a loss of 5 on the first play, goes Parks up the middle. And a sea of Victor defenders bring him down. Jamison Resigliano in there.
Brighton, though, completely content to run the ball, let that clock work. Even if they don't score any more points, I think 28 might be enough for them to win this one, especially with the stagnant Victor offense that hasn't gotten anything going.
Yeah, this is what the Bruins' game plan was coming into this game. We run the ball, we get up big, and we just continue to run the ball, and we'll tick the clock down until this game's over. Martinovic taking a shot for the first down in coverage. Nick Kriegelstein. It's good coverage on West Stirrup. Passes incomplete. 3 and out for this Brighton offense. And Victor hoping to get good field position now with a Brighton punt coming up.
Yeah, and how many times have we seen Adam Ruffalo just with some electric punt returns as well, even missing him in this part of the game, but we've seen Dre Omos as well, a couple block punts this year. Look for Sean Rucker to try to dial up some pressure and really just create a spark play.
If there was a time, the time is now for this Victor special teams unit. And Dre Omos, like you mentioned, has been that guy on special teams. This is a very short punt. It's shanked straight up in the air. Victor looks to not touch it, and they don't. So they're going to get the ball at the 35-yard line of Brighton. And now in striking distance already after a terrible punt. the Blue Devils have great field position, and they're going to look to score a touchdown very fast.
Yeah, net punt of about 5 or 6 yards. Not his best of the night. Victor absolutely needs to capitalize with a touchdown. No question on this drive. It's the third quarter, now less than 4 minutes to play. Like to see Laughlin take some deep shots. Look for Nick Leonard now, split out wide.
1st and 10 from the 34. Laughlin steps back. Under pressure, steps up, just fires it in the middle of the field. Pass is picked. Intercepted by Kieran Hughes. And a bad pass by Jake Laughlin. It's hard to tell who he was looking for there. And a error throw results in a turnover for this Victor offense after one play. And you can imagine the frustration of tonight is at an all-time high right now.
Yeah, trying to find Nick Leonard. We've wanted to see him get involved. Just overthrew that one. Looked like it was throwing into double coverage anyway, but so many defenders just always around Leonard with his potential just to make big plays. This Brighton defense absolutely suffocating besides that one trick play that Victor was able to score on.
Martinovic to the left side, looking for space, and he gets it. Solid gain on 1st down after the ball was placed on the 5-yard line. Gets the Bruins a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, the 2 biggest plays of this game, I think, were one, that West Stirrup kickoff return after Victor took their only lead of the game off the trick play, and then that play, Laughlin just throws the ball up into traffic and it's intercepted. Looked like Victor possibly had some momentum off the bad punt, but Brighton able to get the ball right back and right back to this run game as well.
And that's a pass you can't have if you're Jake Laughlin. You know your team cannot afford a turnover right now more than ever. I know you're looking to score fast, but you can't be overzealous in the sense that forcing something in double coverage is never going to work. Sometimes you can get lucky with an incomplete pass. Not the case there, as it was right into the lap of Hughes. 3rd down for the Bruins now on offense, but they're just happily letting this clock tick down each play as they'll snap it with inside 5 seconds left on the play clock with a run to Martinovic on the right side, and he's going to pick up a 1st down for the Bruins. So good run by Tyler Martinovic, and the Bruins drive continues.
Yeah, with that 1st down, this next set of downs, they can take that game clock all the way into the 4th quarter even. Martinovic does a nice job to pick up the 1st down by a couple yards. And Michael, you get the sense from this crowd, you can sort of start to feel it, that this one's slipping out of hand very quickly for this Victor team.
Indeed it is. 9-0 coming into this matchup, 8-0 in the regular season, where the Victor Blue Devils, that undefeated record, is up for grabs here tonight. Flag flies as Parks gets a short gain on 1st down. See what the call is. I expect it to be holding on the Bruins, and it is. So they're going to move backwards. And this has been a game, Garrett, in which Victor, the costly injury, yeah, we can keep on talking about it with Adam Ruffalo, but I feel like it's warranted. He's a guy that's been the heart and soul of this team, and you couldn't say enough about him and what he's done throughout the season. He's a guy that's in the AGR Player of the Year conversation. We've said that throughout this year, and you've seen in times where the team needs big moments and somebody to step up, it's been that guy, Adam Ruffalo.
Yeah, I can't say enough about what he brings to the team. Missing him is just an absolute tragedy.
And even though you do have that next man up mentality, it's hard to fill the shoes of a guy like that. 1st and 19, Stirrup on the carry. Gets a short gain. Clock keeps on ticking, and it's going to tick within a minute and a half. And with this play clock, they can let it go all the way down to with a minute left of this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, you see some of the fans exiting at halftime. Crowd not as packed as the first half was.
And let's rewind. You go to the end of that first quarter, there's 12 seconds left. There's 2 scores within those 12 seconds. Actually, 8 seconds. With Wes Stirrups' punt return right after the Nick Kriegelstein passing touchdown to Dennis Cole. And we thought we were going to have a barn burner. Well, we've had one, just for Brighton, not Victor. Victor hasn't answered the Brighton shots, just like Brighton did to Victor's one shot that they had. And a classic that we thought we were going to have has slipped away. And even though that big injury has taken place, it's still been errors that with Adam Ruffalo playing, the Blue Devils wouldn't be able to solve all those problems, even if he was in the game. Stopping the run isn't just from a safety position. It comes throughout the defensive line and the linebackers especially. And here goes Parks, as we've seen so frequently tonight, getting a nice gain of 10 and bringing up a 3rd and 10 now after the penalty. So he gets that yardage right back. And 3rd and 10. And we're going to have one more play of this third quarter.
Yeah, Victor is still going to have that fourth quarter to try and make this comeback, but the style of play that Brighton has is it's really hard to come back against them as they get that lead and they just run the ball. Even when they don't have the lead, they run the ball. So keeping the ball on that ground just keeps the clock running, especially when you're doing it with success and picking up first downs. That's where you just see 4 or 5 minutes disappear off the timer.
A run to the outside to Martinovic. He is picking up a first down for the Bruins, a huge first down, and that marks the end of this third quarter. Tyler Martinovic finds the hole for the first down, and up 28-7. Brighton looks to cruise to victory and cruise to a sectional final here in Class A. One more quarter left, fourth quarter coming up on the Section 5 Broadcast Network, presented by CR Sports.
Section 5 fans can now watch sectional championship games and productions live or on demand for just $8 per event on the Section 5 Broadcast Network. The production may include features such as score overlays, graphics, announcers, instant replay, and multiple camera angles. Do you watch a lot of sectional events or consider yourself a super fan? Then consider purchasing a season pass to watch as many events during the sectional season as you'd like. Want to save that production and remember those championship moments forever? Now you can download the entire video for just $20 per event and cherish those moments forever. Are you ready to start watching? Download the Section 5 Broadcast Network app, available on any mobile device or popular TV platforms. Or watch directly from your computer by visiting sectionv.org/watch.
We're back to start off this fourth quarter here at Corbett Field at Victor Senior High School. 12 minutes left of this contest. Brighton up 28-7. And a huge first down just picked up on the previous play by Tyler Martinovic. He has truly showcased his legs tonight, Garrett. And this is another guy that has Gavin Parks with a run to the outside, getting a nice gain of 5. And Martinovic, we know how well he can throw the ball. But the Brighton game plan and the Brighton offense does not need him to throw the ball a lot in this game. It's only been a few times, but all the times he's thrown it, it's been super successful. And that's really impressive by this Brighton game plan, this Brighton offense, and overall this Brighton team.
Yeah, and you're not watching the same play on repeat. It's just Brighton loves that read option, and they've gone to it so much tonight. It almost looks like we're just showing the replay of the same play over and over again.
Run up the middle to Parks again. Gavin Parks to midfield. Breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle, makes people miss. He does it all for this Bruins squad. And Jamison Resigliano slow to get up once again. This is the second time we've seen him down in this contest. We hope he's all right. He was able to obviously play again after that first injury he had in the first half. We'll take a quick injury timeout and hope Resigliano gets back up. right after this.
Oh, slow down, dude. We're not trying to break the sound barrier. Wow! Wide turn, buddy. What the heck? Whew. Hey, you got your blinker on, bud. Hey, driver, 2 hands on the wheel, please. 10 and 2, not when and 2.
Gotta be kidding me.
Oh, nice. I love the Rolling Stones. Almost as much as you love.
We're back after Jamison Resigliano was able to walk off under his own power once again, but he's been banged up and bruised up in this Class A semifinal. And especially late with a team in Brighton that just pounds the rock play after play. Garrett, like you said, it looks like we're watching a replay of plays. No, it's not. It's Gavin Parks and Tyler Martinovich just pounding it every single time right down Victor's throat. And they can do it with ease, it feels like, but it takes a toll on the Victor defenders, and especially a guy like Jamison Resigliano who also plays running back. Your body's just getting beaten up play after play on both offense and defense.
Yeah, I don't know what Gavin Parks ate before this game, but if Brighton advances to the sectional final, like it's looking like they will, I think he should do that again because he's been a beast tonight, and we're just getting word up in the broadcast booth that East has defeated Canandaigua 30-14, so if Brighton's able to hold on, they will face East next Friday night at Fairport High School.
East obviously led by Zymir Jackson and his talents at quarterback, the most electrifying quarterback in Section 5, most would say. And Gavin Parks picking up another first down on the ground as he's just been unstoppable so far tonight.
Yeah, still no answer for Gavin Parks, and it's been that right side they've just been attacking all night long. At some point, you'd like to see Victor dial up a bunch of run blitzes, maybe pack an extra guy or two into the box.
But nothing's been the answer. It feels like Victor's trying to throw everything out there at them, and it hasn't been successful. 9 minutes and 35 seconds left of this contest. Martinovich to Parks once again, and Gavin Parks breaking a few more tackles and getting a first down. It's been play after play, gains of 13 yards. It's been consistent. This is something that you don't usually see in high school football where you can just hand the ball off to a guy play after play, and it's very rarely when he gets brought down for a short gain.
Yeah, I'm going to guess we might see a little read option inside zone to the right here to Parks.
That's an original thought, Garrett. I would have never thought Brighton would ever call that play.
Pulled it out of nowhere, but honestly, if you're the Victor defense at some point, you got to get tired of watching Gavin Parks just run the ball up the right side of that line for 10 yards. It feels like we're just watching the same play happen again and again.
Oh, and here. Oh, Garrett, you called the play. How'd you do that? You sound like Tony Romo in the broadcast booth. A gain of 6 to Gavin Parks with, like you said, the inside zone run to the right-hand side. And if this game keeps going the way it is and Victor's season comes to a close here in the semifinal, I think for a CR Sports Star Player of the Game, it has to be Gavin Parks.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. Gavin Parks, the difference maker tonight for sure. That inside zone just ingrained completely into the playbook. Looks like we might see it again.
Oh, here it is again. Gavin Parks jukes out a couple of Victor defenders and falls forward close to a first down. Just going to be short. We're going to say 3rd and 1.
At this point, if you're the Victor defense, you might as well just take all 11 guys and line them up on the right side of Brighton's offensive line because you can't stop it.
On the right side, but then guess what they're going to do? They're going to go Martinovich, read option to the left side. It feels like whatever Victor throws at him, it's just not going to work. This run game and this offensive line, let's give credit to the offensive line for Brighton. They're going up against a defensive line, and Victor, we mentioned it earlier, usually gets pressure, is usually pretty successful. Tonight, that hasn't been the case. It has been the offensive line of the Bruins dominating down there, and you see the size that they have on that O-line, and it's really obvious in the way that they block and the holes that they create for their running backs, specifically Gavin Parks.
Yeah, especially the right tackle, Val Kondratenko. He's been blocking Nick Leonard all night long. He is a big boy. Coming in at 265, the senior 6'5". He has been creating hole after hole, and we knew the Brighton O-line was going to be good coming into this one, but did we expect it to be this good? I don't think so.
No, in this they're going against the 1 seed. They're going against a team that hasn't lost this season. They're going up against a team that played Irondequoit, the same team that Brighton played last week. Irondequoit only scored 13 points. They scored 13 points on them. That's more than Victor has today. But Brighton had only scored 15 points against Irondequoit. Victor was able to score more than that. They were at 21-20. That was a close one. We just thought that there would be a lot more to see on this Victor offensive side of the ball, where it's not just the stagnant, oh, geez, if we're getting more than 5 yards, it's a rarity, right? But it hasn't been. It's been a stagnant offense. It's been a defense that's gotten crushed by the running game. And it's been the Brighton Bruins cruising to victory and cruising to the Section 5 Class A semifinal right now, but they're cruising to the final. Martinovic picking up the first down for Brighton with forward progress. So going to move the chains, and the clock keeps on ticking. This game is dwindling down in the late stages.
Yeah, it feels like this inside zone to the right is almost like a glitch you see in a video game, like in Madden or something. They just run it again and again, and it's worked again and again. You mentioned cruising. It's a great way to describe it. It feels like Brighton's offense is on autopilot right now. Just nothing complex, simple football, but no reason to change it up.
Parks on the left side breaks a tackle and avoids a big-time loss. But that's been the story of tonight. It's been guys flying back there. You just saw Jackson Tucker on that play. He had his arm on the shoulder of Gavin Parks, wasn't able to bring him down. It was Parks running through contact and just getting yards, not losing yards. He was going to lose a couple yards right there. Instead, gets back to the line of scrimmage, maybe gains a yard. And this is a guy that's been doing all of that. If you stop him right here, Garrett, it feels like he bounces back in even bigger ways. And that's been the mentality of the Brighton Bruins. You saw West Stirrup. They're bouncing back after a big play or a play that doesn't go their way. They say, okay, we wash it. And then they go right back to it. This time on the run is Jaden Leon. Finally a different running back in the game for Gavin Parks to give him a little bit of a rest. And you see Tyler Martinovic loving it as Leon gets in the game. And he gets 9 yards, and it's 3rd and 1 coming up.
Yeah, finally Parks heads to the sideline, and Leon picks right up where Parks left off. A nice run for 9 yards into a 3rd and manageable, but honestly, I think Brighton's okay with not punching this one in right away. They've just chewed at that clock. We're now more than halfway through the 4th quarter. Brighton knocking on the doorstep once again.
And Leon cuts it back from the right-hand side, now goes up the middle, fighting to the goal line. Gets brought down just short of the end zone. And now 1st and goal, the 2-yard line for the Bruins.
Yeah, Michael, and you go back to those quarterfinal matchups. You told me that Brighton was going to need a game-winning field goal to beat Irondequoit, and Victor was going to beat a tough and gritty Churchill-Chili team by 14. If you told me the score was going to be 28-7 with 5 minutes and change to go in the 4th quarter, I would have had to lean Victor's way, but it's been all Brighton tonight.
And on this 1st and goal, handoff to Leon. Up the middle, he goes and fights his way towards the end zone. And he gets brought up just short of the end zone. And it's going to be 2nd down and goal, but this is very close.
Yeah, ball's just inside the 1. Don't even know what you really want here if you're Victor. Obviously, another score is just going to increase that gap, but they don't get in, and the clock keeps ticking away.
I feel like this play right here is kind of the cherry on top for this Brighton team. You have an underclassman, a junior, and Jaden Leon come into the game after Gavin Parks has carried them all night on the ground, along with Tyler Martinovic. But Leon looking to get in the end zone. And on this play, he does. Brighton scores once again. Jaden Leon gives the Bruins a 34-7 lead, and with less than 4.5 left of this contest, the Brighton Bruins see themselves playing at Fairport next week in the final.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that they're going to be taking on East in that final for the Section 5 Brick in Class A. But truly, we're just shocked up here in the booth witnessing what we've witnessed. Just an onslaught from Brighton.
Extra point is up and through. A 28-point lead for Brighton over Victor. So with less than 4.5 left of this contest, it's just a matter of the seconds being erased off the clock. It's all Bruins. It's been all Bruins so far on the Section 5 Broadcast Network presented by CR Sports.
Looking for a great way to commemorate this season's sectionals? Section 5 Athletics is excited to work with Mugs & More to offer a variety of apparel options for each sport and each season. Items include graphics specifically developed to feature the sport and year, including items such as hoodies, hats, pants, and more. Apparel for each season is available for a limited time, so don't miss your chance. Visit section5.org/mugsandmore to see the many options and place your order today.
Back here at Corbett Field, it's been an onslaught of the Brighton Bruins over the Victor Blue Devils. Kickoff goes out of bounds, and Victor will get the ball. But Garrett, I think this is a good time to talk about one of our favorite partnerships that we like to talk about on every broadcast and some of our podcasts that we do. Molly V's Ice Cream. They now have a store in downtown Victor. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, they just moved into the village of Victor. They're going to be open this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 8 p.m. Be sure to stop by, pick up some delicious ice cream. They're evaluating some other goodies to put in the storefront as well, so trying to expand from beyond just ice cream.
Yeah, stay tuned with Molly V's. They're growing more than they ever have before. And we thank Molly V's for sponsoring this broadcast here tonight. So a screen to Nick Leonard. Looking to get him space, and it's a gain of 9 yards.
I think a little too much too late on that play call. Something I would have liked to see earlier, getting a screen pass to a different guy in the tight end, Nick Leonard. But the seconds are just preciously ticking away right now.
And the Victor Blue Devils, a team, like we've mentioned, all season being 9-0, undefeated. This undefeated campaign has come. It's been very close. They've been very close to losing it so far this season. Couple of close games. It was a 4-game stretch where they really weren't playing good football, but nothing like this. We know the injury of Adam Ruffalo, but Adam Ruffalo doesn't play defensive line, and he doesn't play linebacker. And it's been the Bruins just continuing to showcase their run game throughout this game. And this is totally unexpected. Dre Yomas up the middle, and he hasn't really gotten anything going so far tonight. He's been a guy that they really have relied on so far this season, and just feels like nothing's working for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that line has just been completely congested. The Brighton D-line's done a great job creating penetration and stopping the run. And I think it's time we look ahead a little bit for Brighton to that sectional final, which it's looking like they're going to be competing in. The biggest thing I think they need to clean up has just been the penalties. Honestly, it feels like the only thing they've done wrong tonight has been the penalties that have cost them a drive or two.
Pass incomplete there. And Garrett, I totally agree. The penalties is like the one negative you can look to for this Bruins squad. Besides that, it's been a masterpiece, both offensively and defensively with the play calls. Everything's gone their way. They're thrilled to see this result. And this shows the game plan that they had coming into this game. It really panned out. And their preparation was 100% worth it. We know you can't prepare for an Adam Ruffalo injury, but when they saw that, they took full advantage of it.
Yeah, and their game plan coming to this one was run the ball and stop the run. Surprised they didn't pull out an old-timer like the flying wedge or something. George Large in the first ever college football game getting thrown through a wall, but sort of similar here as Victor's just feels like they've been thrown through a wall tonight. This Brighton defense has been able to really contain Rosigliano and Yomas, and we haven't seen any other team this year stop the two of them.
No, And they've gone against good teams. It's not like they've played Brighton. They've been able to go against Brighton, and they've put up points. And we talked about 1 seed jitters, as you like to call it, in the first game. But tonight, I don't think you can really say it's jitters. You played a game. You've got into your mojo and your game and your style so far in the postseason. But tonight, the Blue Devils totally out of their game. Their game is to run the football, and they run it well. It's kind of like what Brighton's done, a little bit less. Brighton really emphasized we're specifically going to run the football to an extreme. But that's a great game plan that they had set up, and it just shows the two differences in how these teams executed tonight. As the pass to intended receiver Kyle Sager is broken up and incomplete from Jake Lachlan. And 3rd and 10 now with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left of this contest.
Yeah, Brighton, the defense does another good job. Almost another interception thrown by Lachlan. Would have been his second of the night. But just sort of felt like ever since Adam Ruffalo went down, this crowd, everyone involved in the game, it just felt like a momentum shift. And you thought they would have been able to flip the script with that play call on the trick play out of the timeout, which Kriegelstein dropped in a dime to Dennis Cole, but 35 unanswered points from the Bruins since that point.
Dre Omos finally getting something. The gain of more yards, and he's stepped out of bounds. If he didn't, that would have been a great touchdown reception by Dre Omos. Garrett, I think this is also another perfect time to talk about just our ability to broadcast these games this season. This hasn't happened before at Victor High School, and in our senior year, we're proud to say that we've broadcasted Victor High School football games. It's been fun. It's been fun doing it with you. It's been fun being up here in the broadcast booth. You couldn't thank Dewey Weimer, the athletic director here at Victor Senior High School, enough. We've gotten a better setup as we've gone on. A little bit of audio difficulties in the first couple games that we've done. And then the third one, there was a little bit more audio problems. But now we have the headsets, and we hope that we've started something new here at Victor High School.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely a huge thank you has to go out to Mr. Weimer for giving us this great opportunity, as well as the Section 5 Broadcast Network for allowing us to do some of the games that they broadcast. It's been a pleasure doing it all year long with you. Hopefully this is just the beginning of what we are to accomplish in our young careers.
It was fun calling baseball in the spring. You could expect more sports for us to call. We're going to be doing ice hockey. I know you're excited for your basketball season to get started. I'll be on the mic for that one. Unless we could get you mic'd up, Garrett, do a little bit of MLB on Fox and ESPN Sunday Night Baseball type interviews during the game. But no, I'm excited to be doing basketball. Ice hockey with you is going to be tremendous. Stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram at CR Sports. That's where you can find all of our content. And it's really been a pleasure doing Victor High School football games this season. It's a fun ride. There was an undefeated campaign. It's going to finally come to a close for the Blue Devils, but a very impressive night by the Brighton Bruins.
Yeah, hopefully we can get to do some of those lacrosse games in the spring as well. Both teams from Victor making it to the state championship last year, so some excitement there coming from those teams.
With the girls winning it, obviously.
Yeah, and you mentioned what a ride it's been. Victor, the 9-0 undefeated campaign looks like it will be coming to a close. They're going to end the season at 9-1.
As Lachlan looks for Sager, pass overthrown out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. And at this point, it's the seniors out there for the Blue Devils that are really trying to cherish this moment with 1:17 left. This is the end of their high school career, and it's unfortunate that it has to end in this way for them as they lose one of their main pieces, main buddies, Adam Ruffalo, out there tonight. But we hope he's okay. We're praying for him, and everyone here at Victor is all with him. So Lachlan going to take off, trying to make a man miss, trying to take some inspiration from Tyler Martinovich tonight. He's been terrific. Yeah. And as we mentioned earlier, just the star player of the game, we're going to have Gavin Parks. You can find that on our Instagram at CR Sports. Follow us there. And we really hope you've just enjoyed this broadcast tonight.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers are certainly with Adam Ruffalo. We still haven't seen him come back to the sideline at all. probably getting checked out somewhere. We really hope it's nothing serious, as he's looking to play college football somewhere. But you mentioned the seniors on the field. Maybe this could be a time to point out some of the younger classmen that are going to be sort of taking over next year for Victor.
Lachlan fires to one of those underclassmen, Dennis Cole, getting close to the end zone. He just gets brought up short at the 1-yard line. He's the scorer of tonight for the Blue Devils with that amazing trick play that they had early in the contest.
Yeah, we didn't see Jake Lachlan play quarterback the whole year for the Blue Devils. We saw the freshman Eric Torres get a couple starts, play a couple drives here and there. So you'd have to imagine he is the front runner early on to be the starter next year, but definitely some working out to do at other positions and even at the quarterback, as there's going to be guys challenging him all offseason.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting team for the Blue Devils next year. They are losing a lot of key pieces, especially Adam Ruffalo and Nick Leonard. And then there's unsung heroes on this team, Connor Doran being one of them, Jamison Riley, people that don't get a lot of recognition on those lines. But they do have young players. They have a freshman in Eric Young who is out right now with an injury, but you can expect him to be a dynamic playmaker next year. As Jamison Rosigliano takes it up the middle and scores a touchdown, which will be his last touchdown of his high school career. 35-13.
You can hear a standing ovation from this Victor crowd. What a year it's been from Rosigliano. He's been a beast all year long. It's nice to see him get one last plunge into the end zone. So a disappointing way to go out, but obviously a successful season overall for the Blue Devils.
The kick is no good by Alex Hall. And we hope you really enjoyed this broadcast tonight, like I mentioned before. And Garrett, we wonder, this could be a message out there to any kids at Victor right now who are underclassmen. We're talking about the underclassmen on the football team. We hope there's some underclassmen that are, we know there's a couple that are interested in broadcasting. Take the chain, take the ropes. We've set it up, plug it in, work with Mr. Weimer. He's a great guy to work with. He's been excellent for us. He's been a big help in these broadcasts. And we hope there's some people that follow our lead.
Yeah, hopefully the beginning of a tradition for years to come at Victor Senior High School.
And now with just a minute and 1 second left, the Brighton Bruins, we said it earlier, they're going to face Stymir Jackson and East in the final. He's a very dynamic quarterback, two really good quarterbacks going up against it with Tyler Martinovich for the Bruins. We're going to hope to be there and call that game. Should be a fun one, an exciting one at Fairport High School.
So we're going to see an onside kick here for sure.
See if anything exciting can happen.
Alex Hall will be on to kick it away. Try the onside kick. Mason Overton, usually the guy kicking the ball off, but Victor's first onside kick attempt of the year will be taken by Alex Hall. As even if they recover this one, I don't think their chances are still pretty slim right now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that notion. And Alex Hall, former soccer player, he was in the Victor soccer program. We saw him come on when there was a blowout on the other side for Victor over Gates Chile a few weeks ago here at Corbett Field. But Hall made the transition to kicker this offseason. And here is that onside kick that they're going for. Takes a bounce right into the lap.
Yeah, that big bounce you try to get on onside kicks coming a little bit early there, so pretty easy recovery, and there'll be a couple kneel downs, and that'll do it for this one here tonight.
Jashawn Weirin able to corral that onside kick, and this game is coming to a close here at Corbett Field. It's been all Brighton, a shocking one, a surprising one. Tonight on the Section 5 Broadcast Network. We thank Section 5 once more. It's just been a true honor to work with them and allow us to broadcast this game here via Sierra Sports and at Victor High School.
Yeah, not sure why Brighton's not just taking a knee. Maybe they're gonna think they're gonna go from a knee from the shotgun actually, and that is what they will do. Martinovic deservingly takes a knee with how well he's played tonight. Gavin Parks out there with him. The CR Sports player of the game for sure. He's just dominated through the run game.
Gavin Parks, you can find that interview on Instagram like we've said before. We'll post it immediately after this one is finished. Another knee down, kneel down, and that will end it. Here at Corbett Field, Brighton 35-13. They're going to play East next week. We're going to bring you in the broadcast booth to close out this game. Michael Rickey alongside Garrett Clare. We thank you all for joining us tonight. And we ask you to go follow CR Sports and check out our podcast on YouTube and go see our star player of the game interview with Gavin Parks.
Yeah, for sure. East, Brighton, sectional final next Friday night at Fairport High School. Looks like it's going to be a good one, especially if Brighton plays as well as they did tonight. You mentioned the final score of 35-13. Definitely not what we were expecting at all, but that'll wrap it up.
And on behalf of Garrett Clare, Dino Falone, our producer, Noah Herniker, Justin Solinsky, and Brian Kavanaugh, we thank you for joining us tonight here on the Section 5 Broadcast Network presented by CR Sports. Stay tuned, everybody.